What is up, everybody? We are back in the building. Normally, I don't get into the funky stuff when it comes to religious beliefs. Everyone has their own religious beliefs. A lot of people hold on to that. It's a huge part of who they are. And I don't care really what you believe. But what I will do is I will come through and I will tell the truth about a religious belief when the members of that religion start to come at me, bombard me in my inbox with a bunch of crap about their religion, and when they bombard me with it, it's totally ignorant to the reality of their religion for what it really is. And I've been getting a lot of that from Muslim people because they don't like my stance against Iran in favor of America, which is purely political. I am an American, not an Iranian. In my opinion, in politics, there are no good guys, there are no bad guys. It's just one country trying to benefit and dominate the other over the other for their own benefit. But the Muslims wanted to smoke, so guess what? I have to give it to them. I have many friends who are Muslims. They practice Islam. Many of them are ignorant as to the reality of Islam. What I want you to do really quick, give me a 1 if you can hear me good in the comments. And if you can see me good, give me a 2 if you can't. I'm a little bit under the weather. I got the tea with the honey and the lemon. My voice is a little, so if I cough or I crack or whatever, please don't hold it against me. What we're going to do, folks, is we got a donation goal, $5 donations. If we get that, I open this joint up for question and answer. One thing you know about me, if you know anything about this channel right here, whatever I say, I'm going to back it up. Scripturally, whatever, and I don't mind if you question me. Let's get to that. Let's get to that goal of opening this up for question and answer, because I'm going to go through a quick history of the progenitor of Islam. Well, the guy who they say it came from. In reality, I know it really didn't come from that person. That person is Ishmael. Ishmael did not start Islam. Ishmael was a worshiper of the monotheistic worship of the Most High one God. Either you could call him El, you could call him Jehovah, you could call him Yahweh. That's what he was. Islam came later on, something his descendants began to worship. They used to be in a desert and they worshiped the moon. That's what they worship. False moon gods. That's what Arabs worshiped initially, right? They went, I'm giving you like a preview, but they used to worship the moon. And then all of a sudden it became, oh, the moon god we worship is the same God that Abraham was worshiping. That is a lie. Why don't Christians or Jews worship a crescent moon? Just ask yourself that. If they're worshiping the same God, their religion came after Christianity and Judaism. Why don't those two religions have a crescent moon? If their own holy book says, reference the Bible, because that was the revelation that was given before this one, those words are accurate too. Why doesn't Moses or nobody say, hey, let's go worship the moon? Let's use this crescent moon as our symbol. That should be the first giveaway that nobody's paying attention to, but I'm going to break it down for you. So let's go way back in time in the terms of biblical times. Basically, Abraham had 2 sons. He had one son with his wife, Sarah, right? Abraham's wife couldn't get pregnant. Her name was Sarah. So Sarah, because she knew she couldn't get pregnant, offered Abraham her slave girl named Hagar and said, look, go have a baby with her because I can't give you a baby. Abraham, with his old ass, went and got cracking with the servant girl. She ended up getting pregnant. But by miracle from the Most High, which Abraham didn't even know this God's name at the time, that God allowed for Abraham to somehow impregnate Sarah and put a baby in her uterus, right? So there were 2 sons, right? Here was the problem. When Sarah had her baby, by surprise, she felt that there was going to be beef between the 2 babies because they were both boys. So she basically banished the servant girl to the desert, like, you got to get the hell out of here. And She gave her some money and all that and was like, you can't be around here no more. You got to take your baby and scram, right? So Hagar takes this little baby named Ishmael out into the desert. And like all, unaccounted for bastards, right? Not trying to talk bad about them, but like all, kids who are pretty much thrown away, Ishmael was foretold or prophesied to be like, he not a really good dude, right? He would continue to worship the Most High. This was not under Islam. Mind you, at this time, Islam wasn't even thought of. Islamists are going to tell you, yeah, Islam was around. They're lying. It was not thought of. They'll even tell you, we worship like Abraham did. Okay, but Abraham wasn't practicing Islam. He was not practicing Islam. Abraham was worshiping El or Yahweh before that God was even giving anybody a name. But I want you guys to pay attention to this. What does it say about, so I'll give you this little scripture right here. Okay, I had to scroll to it. Okay, it says, then Jehovah's angel said, I will greatly multiply your offspring so that they will be too numerous to count. Jehovah's angel added, here you are pregnant and you will give birth to a son and you must name him Ishmael. He's talking to Hagar, the slave girl, right? For Jehovah has heard your affliction. For Jehovah has heard your affliction. He will be a wild donkey. If you know anything like about donkeys, they're stubborn as hell, right? They bite, they kick, they don't want to do what they're told. He will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone. Does that remind you of anyone? His hand will be against everyone. Let's go look at Iran right now. They're fighting their own Muslim friends. They're fighting the Muslims that they don't like. They always got beef with somebody. They've been over there fighting for 2,000 years, right? So all of Ishmael's descendants bear his likeness in the sense that they'll all be very stubborn and they won't ever be able to get along, right? It's just in the DNA according to the Bible, right? That's why the Bible makes it clear. Ishmael is a promise of the flesh, right? Through Ishmael, Jehovah or Yahweh promised basically Abraham that he would get a promise of the flesh. They will multiply, they would be numerous, yada, yada, yada. But through his son Isaac, the one who would later become Israel, that was a promise of the blessing. Like how all nations would be saved through that line, right? So there's no promise of salvation through Ishmael. Muslims keep trying to tell you, yeah, eventually when everyone submits to Allah, everybody's going to be saved. But it's bullshit because there was no promise for salvation given through Ishmael. God just basically was like, look, I ain't trying to dog you. So I'm going to just let this dude have a lot of numbers and he going to multiply. But ultimately, they just going to be over there scrapping and fighting until the promise to bring everybody together under peace and salvation through Isaac come through. That was the promise. Don't let a Muslim deceive you on that one. So it says he will be a donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him. You see, right now, everyone's hand is coming against him. All those countries who didn't want to mess with Trump, they're moving towards the Strait of Hormuz. As we speak, they're going to rise up on this fool, right? To the point where his own brethren is going to rise up on him. And if you know the history of those Middle Eastern countries, they started off by betraying allies. They betrayed the Turks, the Ottoman Empire, to side with the white man, did them dirty, and now they over in the desert fighting for survival while the white man bombing them from the sky and they can't even see. And it says, and he will dwell opposite all his brothers, right? Where's opposite? Everyone basically who's a Christian or a Jew, he dwells opposite them. He wants to fight with all the Christians. He wants to fight with all the Jews. Then she called on the name of Jehovah, right? So notice, listen to what pay attention, and let me know if you follow me. Ishmael's mother was Hagar the slave. Whose name did she call upon? Allah? No. You could take that name Jehovah and change it to Yahweh El, Jehovah, whatever you want to. It ain't Allah. So his mother worshiped Jehovah or Yahweh. That's whose name his mother called on. So if later on his descendants came to worship Allah, why didn't they just say, yeah, we worship Jehovah, like the same God that our ancestors' mother worshiped? Because it ain't the same God. It's demonic the way these dudes walk around and lie, and it pisses me off because they know they know they're lying. So anyway, it says she called on the name of Jehovah, who was speaking to her. You are a God of sight. For she said, have I here actually looked upon the one who sees me? That is why the well was called Bir Lahairoi. It is between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar bore to Abram, because this was before his name became Abraham. She bore to Abram a son. And this is why the Bible says Abraham, basically, Isaac was the promised son because his name became Abraham, like later on. He changed the name up. So Hagar bore to Abram a son, and Abram named his son, who Hagar bore Ishmael. Abraham was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael to him. And then you can go into the history where she was banished out to the desert by Sarah and all that stuff. So they have these two kids, right? Okay. So they went out into the wilderness, and Ishmael later on, he had 12 sons, just like Isaac, right? They settled in the northern region of Arabia over centuries. He had his kids, they had kids, their kids had kids, and they settled in the north of Arabia. Not the Levant region where Israel is. That's two different areas, right? These tribes, they were nomadic too. They didn't stay in one spot. They would move around and go all over the place. So they would interact with a lot of different people, a lot of different cultures, a lot of different religions, people worshiping different gods, all that stuff. And if you're interacting with these people, eventually some of this, your influence is going to rub off on them, but a lot of their influence is going to rub off on you too, right? During that time, these tribes drifted away from the religion of Abraham, which was worshiping Yahweh, monotheism, and they started to adopt polytheism, and they started to worship idols. Understand that. They went into the worship of idols. By the time the books of like Judges, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, Hosea and all that, those books were during that time period that those books cover, the Ishmaelites were, when they would mention the Ishmaelites or when they would mention the nations round about that worship false gods, the Bible was talking about the Ishmaelites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, all that. The Ishmaelites were right in that group. They were no longer worshipers of the Most High. So when the Muslim come to you, we worship the same God. They're lying to you. They fell off, the descendants of Ishmael fell off into the worship of false gods, idols and everything. You hear people on the internet talking about, the United States worships Baal. No, the Muslims worshipped Baal. That's who worship Baal. Them dudes over there worship Baal. So ignorant people who don't know shit try to throw out accusations, not even realizing that the side they roll with is the one worshiping the false gods. Understand that. The Midianites, they once worshiped the Most High, but then they went into worshiping the false gods, right? And the Ishmaelites were directly connected, right, to the Midianites. They were like cousins. And so the Midianites worshiped Baal of Peor, and the Ishmaelites worshiped him too. So how are you like, America's worshiping Baal, when the biblical references tell you that the Ishmaelites worshiped Baal and worship false gods? So you get the story from the Bible, but because the accusations are being made by a bunch of ignorants who don't know anything, they got you twisting up the scriptures, calling America the Baal worshipers when you over there trying to take the side of the Baal worshipers. And I'll prove it to you. If you go to the book of Psalms, I told you everything here is going to come with scriptural references. If you go to the book of Psalms, you go to 83, right? And right in the beginning, verse 4, it tells you this. I'm gonna start in 1. I'm gonna start in 1. In Psalms 83:1, it says this. It says, "O God, do not be silent. Do not keep quiet or still, O divine one. For look, your enemies are in an uproar. Those who hate you act arrogantly." So what God are they talking about? They're talking about Yahweh, the God who the Muslim, we worship the same God. Well, why don't they just use the name Jehovah or Yahweh? And when they change if you notice something about Yahweh or Jehovah, when the language of the people changes, the name changes, right? Mexicans ain't gonna call Jehovah. They'll call him like Jehovah or something like that, right? If you go to another place, they'll be calling Jesus Yahshua. If you go to China, the name changes. The pronunciation changes, right? Only in Islam does everywhere you go, the name is Allah, 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 because Allah just means God. But which God? There's no specificity about which God they're talking about. It's just God. It's like saying Lord. It's like saying God. Okay, which God? The Bible says there are many gods and many called gods, but there's only one true God, and that God has a name. So when you're like, you got to worship Allah, they're just telling you, oh, you got to worship God. Okay, now tell me what satanic demon are you worshiping, calling him God? So I know when I bend my ass over and twerk for him, I'm worshiping the right God. They'll never tell you. But I'm going to finish reading this. So it says, with cunning, they secretly plot against your people. So whatever group of people this is, that's the enemy of Yahweh or Jehovah, they're plotting against his people. They conspire against your treasured ones. They say, come, let us annihilate them as a nation, so that the name of Israel may be remembered no more. They devise a unified strategy. They have made an alliance against you. Here, who are the people? The tents of Edom and who? The Ishmaelites, Moab and the Hagrites, Gebel and Ammon and Amalek, Philistia, together with the inhabitants of Tyre. So Ishmaelites, after Ishmael died, they went and joined the nations around, worshiping false gods and conspiring against the Israelites. So I don't know how these dudes went from that point to being like, nah, man, we worship the same God. No, dude, we're the descendants of Ishmael. Well, the descendants of Ishmael went into worshiping false gods. Then they brought a false god back and tried to convince people that that false god is the same God as the God that the Israelites been worshiping from the beginning to the end, from the start to the finish, and the God that the Christians are worshiping now. I'm just saying, if you go along with this, at least go along with some accuracy, right? The only thing Ishmael was promised was he's going to have a lot of offsprings. That's it. That's it. That's all. So when you look at this situation, so later on, you have the Muslims come through and they're like, yo, we got this new book called the Quran. And it was written by this dude named Muhammad. He couldn't read. He couldn't write. He was a bandit. He went into a cave and met an angel. Same type of stuff like Joseph Smith. Straight up hearsay. This guy went in a cave, came out teaching us stuff, and we believed it. That's ultimately what this boils down to, right? So if you look at what the Israelites say, Ishmael was in their religion, Ishmael is like a prophet, right? So their progenitor is not even the one who brought them the truth. The truth came years later on from some like criminal guy, right? And it's like, all right, so Ishmael didn't bring, so Abraham brought this stuff to like the Jews and then later on to the Christians through that line. Ishmael didn't bring them the religion he was worshiping. He died. They went into worshiping false gods. Then another guy who was right there in the worship of those false gods supposedly came out of the worship of the false gods and led the people all the way back to the God that Ishmael was worshiping. Come on, guys. Are you dumb enough to fall for that? And by the way, guys, we don't use the name of the God. We use just God, title God. Oh, by the way, we don't use a cross. By the way, we use this like moon god symbol that don't nobody know where the hell that came from. But every Muslim is basically worshiping that. It doesn't make sense. They lie. Oh, Hagar and his mother settled in Mecca. No, they didn't. No, they did not. They literally settled in the wilderness of Paran and Sinai. But 2,000 in a million years later, Muhammad told us that they settled in Mecca. Mecca is not nothing biblical. That don't got no prominence in the Bible at all. But the Quran will constantly tell you to go back to the Bible and go look to the revelations before. Literally in the Quran, it tells you that. The things that you don't understand in the Quran, they say go back to the Bible and the Torah, because those revelations will explain to you what you don't understand in the Quran. It literally says that. So if I go back and look at what the Bible says, then I come to look at the Quran I have to say someone's lying. Now, are the ones who left the worship of the Most High and went into the worship of pagan deities, then had a revelation from a guy who went into a cave and couldn't read and came out quoting scriptures, quoting surahs and hadiths? Are they lying? Who can't really explain to you or break down a religion to you, really? And if you dare try to debate on a religion, they're going to kill you or you got to leave the country. I don't know, guys. If I had to choose one, I would probably go with the one where I'm not going to get killed for questioning what's in the book. That's probably the one I'm going to go with. Okay. So, Ishmael is the ancestor of the Arabs. This is what they say, right? And he's the ancestor of Muhammad. But we know that these guys are prophesied in the Bible to say they would always be fighting, right? Them Arabs been over there in the Middle East fighting for like 2,000 years or more. I would say the Bible was right about that. Wouldn't you? They've been over there squabbling for like thousands of years. They couldn't even come together long enough to stop the white man from whooping their feet and taking over that region. The last time a Muslim army has defeated a white army is like 1,000 years ago. I'm not even joking. When it was like straight up Christian versus Muslim. The last time they won, man, look, I'm going to look this up. Look, when is the last time a Muslim army defeated a Christian army? July 4th, 1187. That's the last time a Muslim army defeated a Christian army. Why you think they resort to terrorism now? They can't win. They cannot win. Now they employ a different tactic. Right here, I'm reading it to you. The Battle of Hattin, led by Saladin. When was the last time? Shit, almost 1,000 years ago? And people are like, oh yeah, Allah's going to deliver everything to the... No, dude, no way. What they're going to do is they're going to force everybody to capitulate by saying, please let us in. They're going to do just like the Palestinians did in Jordan and then they did in Lebanon. Please let us in. We're going to come in pretending to be peaceful with you. Once we get big enough in numbers, we're going to start bombing shit and blowing shit up. And we're going to force you through fear to make your government a theocracy under Allah. Why do you think every Islamic person runs from Islamic countries to come live in America? I'm just telling you straight facts. Why, if God is going to deliver them the earth, why is God driving them out of their own country for fear of violent retribution and reprisal into the home of the infidel? People are like, they just coming over here because they want to take over. That's not why. They want to have a life that has some meaning to it. They want to worship their God. I get that. But they don't want to get their head chopped off because they protested in the street over the economy being bad. So I'm telling people straight up, whether you agree with the Bible or anything, period. You sit up and you adopt this way of life. You sit up and let these people come through unvetted, unfettered. Just know what you have in store. Just understand what that means. That means your kid's going to live in a world where they get on the city bus and they got to worry about getting blown the fuck up. And we're in love with that. Black America is so damn ignorant. We're defending that. Oh, Iran this, Iran that. Iran killed 35,000 of their own people for protesting about the economy. Oh, but what about America? Damn America. Damn America. Don't even think about, don't say nothing about America. Let's talk about what they're doing right now today. Because I know in America, didn't know 35,000 protesters get killed for protesting the economy. And we had millions out going against the president. How many protests against the supreme leader have you seen in Iran in the past 47 years? None. You think no, Brandon, because they've just been so pleased with his performance. No, because they'll get killed if they go up against him or say anything negative about him. But you praying for that. You want that to happen because I'm so sick of America. No, your ass is lazy and spoiled and entitled. So you'll pick anybody over your country while you sitting up trying to play nice or make nice with a bunch of dudes who I think are just demonically possessed. They got a dude who's an Olympic wrestler, 19 years old. They getting bombed, bro. They getting bombed. And they said, well, before we die, let's go hang this dude in the street like a dog. Do you realize how demonic you have to be to think like that? We're getting bombed on a daily basis by Israel and America. They done wiped out all of our leadership. But before we go down, we're going to inflict as much pain, misery, terror, and suffering as we can on our own population. I don't know what you mean. Is that not a demonic way of thinking? Is that not? Look at this idiot. Circus, Iran didn't kill 3,500 people, bro. You're just a big fat. Okay, let's say they didn't. What is his evidence that they didn't do it? Tell me what this idiot, let me give this guy, hey dude, right now, do you have Cash App or PayPal? I will give you $100 if you can present facts-based evidence that says Iran did not kill 35,000 of their people for protesting. I'll give you the link to come up here. I'm giving this dude the link. He won't. This is just, he doesn't want to believe it. I don't want to believe that, Brandon, because if I believe that, I have to believe that Iran is worse than America. Only difference is he's sitting in America right now, not Iran. That's like me talking about the cheeseburgers over at McDonald's is better than the cheeseburgers at In-N-Out, but I'm sitting in In-N-Out eating In-N-Out cheeseburgers and ain't even tried a McDonald's cheeseburger. As much information as he swears I don't have, that's as much information as he don't have. But the difference between me and him, every major news outlet, including Al Jazeera, supports the fact that they did do it. And the people who live in America, whose family members calling them, man, I got shot. My family member got shot. He sent a video to me bleeding. He done got shot by the IRGC. Bro, there's already people who have already used satellites to like zone in on like the areas where they were doing the protest because they were getting footage of what was going on. And they were like, well, how do we prove that this footage is from the places that people say? They use satellites to triangulate the locations that they are receiving the video from to prove. That's what 35K. It was 35K. But it's people who don't even care about the United States or anything who have already did the investigations on this, which says it's true. I guess they didn't hang a 19-year-old Olympic athlete either for protesting. They didn't do that either, huh? They didn't do that either. See, these people are ignorant, man. But I'm going to get into why that is as well. So they really don't have a win in this situation. Biblically speaking, spiritually speaking, if you believe in that, they're on the losing end of this fight. The only thing they can do is deceive people into taking their side. That's it. That's all they can do. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something else. What Iran is doing reminds me of someone. It reminds me of a scripture, actually. And when I read this scripture, tell me if this don't remind you of what Iran is doing. Hold on. Hold on, I'm trying to get the scripture. I think it's 1 Peter 5:8. But it reminds me of this. Because one thing you got to understand is like whoever people are worshiping, their behavior resembles whatever deity that they're really worshiping. And if you look at the Bible, let me see. Might be Revelations 12:12. But and this is what I see with Iran, just the way they're behaving. The way Iran is moving, they not moving like somebody who has right on their side or righteousness on their side. Right? Yes, Revelations 12:12. They don't behave like someone who's like, I got God on my side. God is going to preserve us. They don't behave like a godly nation. If you look at what they do, they behave like a demonic nation. Right? Just the things they're doing. even with this idea where they're just like, well, we about to probably die, so let's just kill as many people as we can before we go. What country acts like that? What country acts like that? All you got to do is say, you know what? Let's get rid of the nukes, man. We not going to try to do it. We value the quality of life of our people over our ability to annihilate Israel in the United States. They can't do it. They cannot do it. They can't do it because killing and destruction and death is a part of who they are. They have to have that. They have to fulfill the prophecy that is given to Ishmael. They have to be stubborn like a donkey. No, we're going to keep making nukes. We're going to keep trying to make nukes. And they have to always have their hand against everyone, all their brothers and everybody on the planet. If you believe, like some people believe, all mankind descended from Noah's sons, right? Well, the Hamites and the Israelites and all that stuff, and all the nations came from those groups. Well, we would be the brothers of Ishmael, and his hand is always against us. Think about that, being so damn ignorant and bent on having the ability to cause mass destruction that you just willing to sacrifice yourself and as many of your people necessary to get that. But it reminds me of something the Bible says about the devil. It says, woe for the earth and for the sea, because the devil has come down to you, having great anger, knowing that he has a short period of time. Iran knows they have a short period of time. And they're going to react just like they father the devil by just trying to destroy and cause and raise hell until they're gone. And I promise you, when that regime is wiped out, you're going to have a better situation in the world. The world ain't going to be all peaceful. People going to be fighting and stuff always, but you ain't going to have that group sponsoring terrorist groups all over the place acting crazy. Right here again. Keep your senses, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion seeking to devour someone because he knows his time is short. That he knows his time is short. Oh, we already know. I'm not missing it. Are you talking to me? They were literally bragging about how they had the ability to produce like 11 nukes. Now, oh no, they weren't, Brandon. These dudes who have as much access to these private conversations as I do are so confident that Iran is telling them the truth. And I'm telling you, this whole religious ideology is based on a bunch of lies. So you automatically, their religion actually permits them to lie to you to accomplish their goal. I'm being real. Their religion permits them to lie to you if they have to do so in the name of accomplishing their goal. I really don't understand what part of that don't black people and all these American sympathizers, these Iran sympathizers, what part of that don't you grasp? That's my question. What part of that is lost on you that you simply can't understand? Right? I don't get that. They told you, oh yeah, this is the same religion as the one you worshiping. Same God. One of my Muslim friends, he always says that, well, we're brothers and I'm like, dude, nah, because you sounding crazy as hell right now. And let me tell you, one thing I noticed when you talk to like Arabs, right, like Muslims, they try to be like calm. But am I the only one who, when I talk to Muslims, who can feel like the anger in them like building up? Like, give me a 1 in the comments if when you talk to like Muslims, you can literally feel the anger building up in them. They try to like keep it cool, but you're like, but inside you're like, if we were standing in the middle of a desert right now and bro had an axe, he would fucking slaughter me in 1 second for saying what I'm saying. That's that demonic spirit inside of them. They try to suppress that shit to be deceptive. But in reality, bro, they want to kill you. Because in the secrecy of the mosque and all that stuff, bro, they go and they watch radical shit and get pumped up. It's like black people watching videos and shit about when black leaders be talking about hate the white man and hate whitey. Yeah, we might be like, we don't really hate white people, but you do still get a rise out of black people when they hear somebody talking that crazy shit. I'm telling you straight up. Everyone is warning Americans. Everyone is warning Americans. And then you see what a lot of the Muslims gravitate towards in America. A lot of them gravitate towards the silly shit. And my thing is this. I look at who supports you. Go look at who's supporting the Muslim country, Iran. Go look at the people who are like, yo, Iran is good and America's bad. Go look at them. The same people who running behind the LGBTQ movement over here. The same people trying to mutilate your kids' genitals. The same people who want your daughter to have to go in the bathroom with a grown-ass man. It's the same people. That I don't gotta be a rocket scientist to understand. If the same people who want to destroy America side with a country who wakes up every day before they eat their Ayatollah flakes, be like, yo, let's death to America. I'm gonna put two and two together. Hell no. No. We got to do something about them. Man, dude, if you don't get your ass out of here talking about a school, you know how many people Muslims done killed? Thousands and millions? Shut your ass up. This is what I'm telling you. This is the dishonesty right here. Muslims are right now, Iranians are right now bombing other Muslim nations who've done nothing to them. But his focus is only on America. What I would say about them bombing the school, they warned you. They warned you. If you it's like the cops. Keep your hands where we can see them. If you dig in your pocket, we don't know what you're trying to go for, and we're going to kill you. America said the same thing. Let us go in and inspect the nuclear sites so we can make sure that you're not enriching uranium to the point where you're going to build a bomb. Because in the past, you've expressed the desire to build a bomb. You know what Iran did? They said no. Then, when they did let inspectors in, they played games. And those weren't American inspectors. Those were UN inspectors. They say, you could go and inspect Fordo, but you can't inspect this place. You could go inspect this place, but you can't inspect this place. They played a stupid game, and they won a stupid prize. That's what they did. It's the same as if your God, Allah, says, look, don't worship false idols. But then you run into the wilderness and worship false idols thinking you hidden underneath the trees and he can't see you. Ain't nobody making no excuse, bro. I'm telling you straight up. You are mad like a little bitch because you and the other Muslims don't have the power over America. That's the reality. Guys, stop listening to these people. Do you think, who cares about women in children's schools when all they do is oppress their women and throw rocks at them till they dead for making a little mistake? Think about it. They don't even value the life of their women, but all of a sudden they care about a girls' school. Well, girls just got the ability to go to school in Iran. Come on, guys. We oppress our women. We kill them if they do something stupid. They get snatched up by the morality police and killed and tortured. But all of a sudden, we care about all these little girls. Get that. Who do you think you talking to? You can't, man, listen, man. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night, bro. You cannot tell me that you are this advocate for women's rights while sitting up and worshiping Islam. You can't. I saw a video one time where a lady got raped. They backed a fucking truck up and dumped rocks on top of her body, dude. The Ayatollah literally said when women are, dude, look, this is a fact. Let me tell you this is a fact. They, in Iran, they would arrest women, right? They would rape them in jail so that they couldn't make it to paradise or wherever they go when they die. They would arrest women, sentence them to death, then rape them so that when they died, they wouldn't go to paradise. No, I want you to admit it. I want you to admit it, big boy. Can you be a man? Because I could be a man and tell you America did some crazy shit to Iran, but I feel like Iran deserved it. I'll be real with you. They deserved it. As many Americans as they didn't kill, I don't give a damn what America did to you 40 years ago. This is today. You either let that shit go or be prepared to deal with the consequences. If black folks can let go of slavery and live in peace with white folks in America after what they did to us, I think you could get over something that happened 47 years ago. And let me tell you this. The one reason why I will give America a break on a lot of shit they do, America showed that they can do what they're asking others to do. America forgave Japan. America didn't just take over Japan and now in Japan they speak in English. America forgave Germany for what they did. America has forgave every country that tried to fuck America over. They even forgave the British. Because the only way you move forward is by letting shit go. You can't, in order to hold somebody down, you got to stay down with them. I forgot who said that. In order to hold somebody down, you got to stay down with them. Now tell me, you going to be a man, your boy got money? You going to be a man? Am I lying about the rape of women so they can't go to heaven? Am I lying? Tell me, am I lying? Yeah, you're right. America fucked Japan, but Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. And America bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And then they said, you know what? We do better working together. Why can't Iran just say, you know what? Let's just work with America. Fuck it. Get rid of the nukes. Let's get cracking. All the other countries are. Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, UAE, all the other countries are like, let's just work with America. Fuck it. We gonna get rich. And they're thriving. But only that Ishmael. Iran, they gonna keep the spirit of Ishmael going if they don't do nothing else. Because they can't let anything go. But your boy got money. He can't be a man. He can speak about America, right? But he can't be a man and be like, yeah, they was raping women. They was arresting women on morality crimes, then raping them so they couldn't go to heaven, though. And they call it, and look, they arrest your sister because she did something immoral, quote unquote. The guards in the prison rape her before they about to execute her so they can make sure she don't go to heaven. They rape her, kill her, then say, death to America. America's the great Satan. Does that make sense to y'all? I mean, just tell me an honest answer. I'm not projecting shit. I ain't projecting nothing. I'm literally telling you what they did, what they do. And it was Iranian spiritual leader who was the one who called him out on it and put it in his book. Look, bro, this was a very well-known story. You're projecting. See, you see how men, they claim to be men, right? But they'll defend any type of evil, but so they can try to make America look bad. But I got common sense. No country doing that is better than America. Many people, women in America go to jail. They're not all being raped. They're not being raped and then executed, bro. Come on. That's demonic shit. But you'll say, America's the great evil, the great Satan. Get the hell out of here. Do I look stupid to you? What does this say right here, y'all? What does this say? Y'all think I'm making this up. Security forces, Iran. Security forces use rape and sexual violence, amounting to torture and other ill treatment to intimidate and punish peaceful protests from women. Violence against women and girls in Iran. Iranian women on jail, torture, and rape. The women came and talked about it. They talked about this in France. They talked about this in Australia. They talked about this in The Guardian, the Human Rights Watch, Al Jadid. This is an Islamic paper. Casket and rape. The prison in Iran's Islamic Republic. A review of Chahala Kafiq's The New Islamist Man, the political prison in Iran. That's the guy, Chahala, whatever. He was an Iranian dude. He literally, look, this ain't America. This is not the great Satan writing this. This is an Iranian man. He said, just like this, a woman's rape is frequently the last act that precedes her execution. This is explained by the rule in Iranian political prisons that the sentence of execution cannot be carried out if a woman is a virgin, since there's a theological belief that if a woman dies a virgin, she will go to heaven. The politically active virgin is forced to marry before her execution, and thus to ensure she will go to hell. She is forced to marry the hangman who will carry out her execution. So she has to get boned, right? Because to be married, it has to be consummated. She has to get boned, and then the same guy who screws her, he kills her. He chops her head off or hangs her. That's so godly. That's so spiritually divine in nature. I'm telling you guys, every single person who's out here trying to convince you that they're virtuous because they stand with Iran and all, they're demons, bro. They're your mama, your sister, your cousin, them. They're demonic minded. They're demon possessed. Because anyone who could defend a country that does shit like that, America might be bad, but it ain't that bad. Look, I'm brainwashed. Iran rapes women before they execute them, and that means I'm brainwashed. Do you guys, am I the only one who sees the stupidity of that logic? Iran does something demonic, and I am brainwashed because I'm calling it out. I'm calling it out, and I'm the one who's brainwashed. No one's making them do that. No one was making them do that in 2013. These articles are old, but they're still doing it to this day. I'm just asking you, does that seem like something a godly nation would do? I'm just asking you. America has things that make you like, fuck, man, America's messed up. But then there's other things in America that make you say, you know what, maybe there's hope for America. There's a lot of bad, but there's also a lot of good. Bro, there ain't nothing good about that. And there's nothing good about a bunch of people who sit and let that shit happen. Here we go. Better than the... So women getting raped and executed is better than Epstein of America. America put Epstein in jail. America put Epstein in prison. Iran would have been like, cool, Epstein, we'll just let you rape them before they get executed. Go ahead. You know it's true. You know it's true. They would have said, no, that's cool. Let it go. Let it ride. What are you talking about? Iran had a bunch of slaves. Iran has a look. See this? See, I'm telling you, these people don't know history, man. That's why you got to stop listening to them. Iran had a bunch of slaves. The descendants of those slaves are still living in Iran under oppression right now. You have never seen a black Iranian, but they're there. There's 1.5 million of them, but you'll never see them because they're basically separated from society. You're not going to win this argument. And I'm telling you guys, every person who defends Iran, they also defend all the other demonic stuff that happens in America. It's the demons of America trying to defend the demons of Iran. That's what this is. It's the demonic spirit that possesses a lot of these people in America trying to defend the demonic spirit of the people who possess Iran. That's it. That's it. They have to protect that demonic spirit to keep this demonic spirit going. And if you look at it that way, it makes perfect sense. Because the same stuff that they condemn, that they'll say, okay, these people was just in the street because Renee Nicole Good got killed by ICE, right? They was out there damn near ready to fight the cops over that. One lady, one woman, she wasn't raped, she wasn't tortured, and she wasn't executed, right? They were in the street. Now, those same people are up in arms defending a country that not only tortures, but rapes women before they're executed for basically doing nothing but speaking out about something they don't like. That's demonism right there. That's straight up chaos and confusion. So you cared about the life of one white woman to the point where you was ready to overthrow the government, but then go defend a government who's violating women to a far greater extent. That there's no logic to what they're doing. There's no logic to what they're doing. Yeah. You ain't never seen one of these. Let me show you something you never seen. You've never seen these people anywhere. You've never seen these African Iranians, these Afro-Iranians. You never seen them. They don't even let them live in the major cities. They don't. You never see them. Show me you've never seen an Iranian this dark. But they're there. They're there. The singer, Snow Allegra, her daddy is black. You would have never knew it. Because look at how they got him living. Iran this, Iran that. Man, Iran don't give a damn about your black ass dummy. They gonna Brandon, they's not gonna bomb us, Brandon. You just hating Brandon. Let's sound like a damn slave. You sound like a damn fool. I'm not too dumb. I can look at something and see, damn, this is not right. Now, what's your point? He mad. I'm hurting the demon inside of him. He can't take it. He can't. What's your point, man? Get to the point. I'm tired of listening to the facts. The demon that has embedded itself in my asshole doesn't like what you're saying. No, this has nothing to do with propaganda. I'm not saying America's great and that would be American propaganda. But what I'm damn sure not going to do is let people spread absolute lies about Islam and Iran. If you're going to call them both out based on what they've done. If you're going to talk about Iran spared 13 black people, but America's been giving your whole ass mama food stamps in Section 8 for eternity. That's what a man does, whether we like or dislike. We judge everyone based on merit. Iran freed 13 black people. America fed and clothed your sister and her 12 kids born out of wedlock until they were adults, and then let them go to community college for free, still taxpayer money to buy cars with rims and beat, and did not throw them in jail. by the millions. That's all I'm saying. Iran freed 12 black hostages. America give all your damn bastard ass kids that you won't pay child support for free health care, free lunch, food stamps, WIC, Section 8, all that shit. That's guys, give me a 1 if I'm telling the truth. Give me a 1 if I'm telling the truth. Please, please. Iran freed 12 black people. Your mom has been getting an AFDC check since you couldn't even read. Am I wrong? That's the part that doesn't make sense for me. That's the funny farm aspect of this. If it's to say you got no smoke for Iran because of them freeing a couple of hostages, that means you're basing your respect for Iran off of merit. Something that Iran has done that you feel benefits black people. In this case, it benefited 12 black hostages in their family. Now, can you name 10 things that America has done that benefits black people and black families? If I'm just being real. You ain't being real. You being fake. You being funny. You being tricky. That's why we know it's not really about merit. We know the demon in you is compelling you. The Bible says that the spirit bears witness. Your demonic spirit bears witness with the demonic entity or the spirit that is existing over in Iran. So when that demonic spirit cries out for help, your demonic spirit has to cry out in response to it. Let's call it what it really is. The demon in you identifies with that demon. So when that demon feels pain, you feel it. You feel it. Every demon-possessed Muslim on earth feels it. They feel it so strongly that when Iran start bombing their country, they can't even speak out against. Like, damn, bro, why y'all bombing Muslims? They didn't do nothing to y'all. I stand by my whole argument. These dudes are, I'm telling you, want to see a man turn into a total bitch in real life? Get one of these Islamic boys up here. These dudes are so homosexually inclined, they don't care. They like, nah, Brandon, we got to defend our Arab daddy just cuz. He ain't got to do shit for us. If someone give me $20, I'm not about to defend a person who ain't give me shit over them. I'm like, nah, this person was kind enough to give me $20. Oh, Brandon, they freed 12 hostages. Go look up how many white people died to get your black ass up out of slavery. It's not even close. It's not even close. And just because you talk about spirit, that don't mean you got to be talking about something spookish. You could be talking about spirit in the form of school spirit. Your latent possession could identify with their latent possession. Yeah, look, all they got is insults now. Yo boy got money. Come up here. I'm going to give you the link so you don't got to be down there like a coward just throwing insults. Come on up and tell us how Iran is superior to America. Go ahead. I gave him the link, y'all. I gave him the link. Islam, Afro-Cuz. Islam is enslaving blacks right now in Libya. But Iran let go of 12 hostages. Stupid. It's the stupid. Look, but they won't come up here, though. They won't come up here. I'm giving you the link, dude. You going to keep throwing insults or you going to click the link? He can't. He's a coward. He's a coward. I'm telling you. These dudes, all these black dudes, oh, I'm a Muslim. You're a bitch. You're not nothing. You probably became a Muslim so you wouldn't get beat up in jail like 90% of all other black dudes who become Muslims for protection. None of these dudes can defend this stuff. All they can do is try to make it seem like you're being unreasonable because you won't accept their demonism. That's real. We're not even going to get on why your Lord and Savior Muhammad married a 6-year-old and raped her when she was 9. We're not even going to get on that. Somebody told me, oh, that was permitted back then. What? When in time was it permitted to marry a 6-year-old, bro? We used to clown white people for doing shit like that. We used to be like, man, y'all used to marry your own daughters when they was 5 years old. Now the black man excusing it because Muhammad did it. You got fools up in Nigeria trying to do it, talking about, yeah, I'm doing it because the prophet did it. Did you ever think the prophet could have been a false prophet? That might have been a time when you should have known that this ain't the guy to follow. I'm sorry. If I got a daughter and I'm following behind a dude, he's like, yeah, guys, check this out. I'm going to marry this 6-year-old. All right, y'all, I'm out. I'll see y'all boys later. They can't even be men and stand up for what's right. But they want you to listen and take seriously the bullshit they talking about. Ain't nobody listening to y'all. Cowards. Straight up. A bunch of bums. They accept the demonism because they just want to be a part of something. You know how stupid you got to be? And then get mad at me because I'm going to be a man and speak up for what's right. Nah, bro, I'm not down with marrying 6-year-olds. Nah, bro, I'm not down with slaughtering, raping women and then executing them. I'm not down with that. Y'all down with that. I'm not down with that. Facts. And when you talk to them, they can't never explain nothing. They only go after the dumbest black people on earth. They can't never explain none of this shit. All they doing, somebody gave them something consistent, a ritual. Twerk your booty up 7 times a day and you good. I got a friend named Marcus, this damn idiot. He gonna hit me up. He's in Mecca. See, you thought it was just temporary that I was gonna be a Muslim. Dude, see, I didn't give a shit what you did. You look stupid. You look stupid. Worshiping shit, don't even know what you worshiping. Don't even know the history or nothing. Because I promise you, they're going to give you a fatwa. You know what a fatwa is? That's what they explain everything with. Fatwa. Fatwa is some old ass Muslim nigga basically being like, well, the Quran is saying that this dude was a pedophile, but my opinion on this now is what you should take as holy doctrine. That's what a fatwa is. Where an old Arab nigga gives his opinion to excuse something in the Quran that is totally demonic. That's what they are. That's what these black dudes is out here operating on. Fatwas. Now, does that make sense? Hey, guys, help us reach our challenge. $5 challenge. But that's what it is. Fatwa. You don't have to download anything. I gave you the link right there. StreamYard is right there. Click that link. It brings you up. Maybe you came up and I didn't see you because I was looking at the screen. That's what these dudes is going after, y'all. Man-made interpretations of things that they know are wrong, but helps them. Like, one thing, I'm going to tell you something. One of the reasons why the black man is the perfect stooge for Islam is that black people's ego is probably like the strongest motivating factor. Preservation of the black ego is like the number one motivating factor for black people, right? So black people don't like to admit that they wrong about stuff. So they're perfect candidates for Islam because once they get knee deep in it, they won't go back if that means they have to admit. They won't leave if that means that they have to admit that they were wrong. I had a whole talk with Nakmeezy the other day about this. Bro said he didn't realize that Islam was bullcrap until he was 40 years old, and he grew up in it. But he was like, bro, I'm just out here like these dudes, hypocritical as hell, breaking the rules like a motherfucker, but then trying to call someone else out on it. I knew it was tricky when I went to the Middle East and there was a bunch of gay niggas up everywhere. I said, what? Not them. Not them, Lord. Not them, Lord. Not these ones dumping trucks of rocks on people for breaking the laws. Now they over here fruity? I said, nah. I said, hell no. At least Jesus like, forgive them. Jesus like, don't kill them, just forgive them. Try to talk to them. Try to work it out with them. Not Islam. Put them to death and then you go suck a dick. I'm like, that ain't right. That's not godly. I don't care what God you worship. That is not godly to condemn a man for something and then turn around and you go do it. It's all about status. It's all about, what's it called? It's like a caste system. This guy can get away with it because his daddy's rich. You can't get away with it because your daddy's poor. When I tell you gay dudes was, I said, what? I went to the Howard Johnson. I'm trying to party. I got money in my pocket. Tranny night. Tranny night. That was in 2014. Tranny night. On the rooftop of the Howard Johnson. So you want to replace America with that? I'm asking you, what's the damn difference except for y'all shit more extreme? Now, I'm not saying America is perfect. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is at least I don't got to deal with blatant fucking hypocrisy like that. It's blatant social hypocrisy, man. We're going to kill you for being gay and then go to tranny night afterwards. Let that sink in. Let that sink in right here. This hotel right here, bro. It's still there. It's still there, baby. Look at it. You think I'm making up? Abu Dhabi, by the Wyndham, Howard Johnson, every Thursday, rooftop, tranny night. I could not believe it. I said, not these niggas twerking. Now I know what they practicing for. Now I know what they practice. Bro, I couldn't believe it. Bro, that hurt my heart. That hurt my heart. Because I just thought these dudes be out here killing people for being gay, which I'm not down with the LGBTQ stuff either. But I'm like, damn, you gonna kill them? That's kind of crazy. Africans might kill gay dudes, but you ain't gonna find no tranny night. Hey, that's just hypocrisy. But this is what they're about. Rules for thee, but not for me. Now I'm a clown because I'm telling the truth. Now I'm a clown because I'm telling the truth. See, but as a worshiper of Allah, I understand why you would say that, because the devil is always calling something a good thing bad and always calling a lie the truth. So that makes it, the more you guys say I'm a clown and I take power from that. Because if you're saying I'm a clown, that means I'm right. I'm onto something. I'm hitting the mark. I'm hitting the nail on the head. Let's see what Reddit has to say. Look, y'all think I'm lying. Why? I'm in Reddit now. They done got me on Reddit, Lord. All right, let's go here. Islam is the religion of peace. We don't like gays. Yeah, y'all love them. Y'all don't like them. Y'all like them, y'all love them, and y'all want more of them. So there's somebody right here saying, traveling to Abu Dhabi as a trans woman. I'm considering the possibility of traveling to Abu Dhabi for work. I am a trans woman and my legal documents represent my current identity. I pass pretty well. Under those circumstances, the best I can find is you should be fine. I'm not comfortable with should be though. I want a will be. I've relayed this to work, and luckily they are understanding towards my position, so at least there is no problem there. However, I wanted to get some feedback from y'all. Am I being overly cautious? Somebody said, don't go. Somebody said, there's no will be in this scenario. Emirati trans women can legally transition, but it's rare and difficult. I don't know if you being an expat with legal documents saying you're a woman will give you leeway if somebody reports you for cross-dressing. Now, why would they need to report you? Oh, probably because there's cross-dressers over there. I think this is the most reasonable response. I think we as trans people forget that most of the time, people are not thinking about trans people. And if you pass reasonably well, you probably pass even better than you realize. I know this is true for myself when I literally go on dates with women and have had to realize that disclosure is eventually something I have to broach. But that people really and truly don't come in with the assumption. Asking a crowd of trans people if you should be afraid is always going to play towards the fear. As you can see from the law, average of responses on here. I don't know what that means. But anyway, if you look, these people, eventually they just get to the point where they're just like, I'm in very transphobic, homophobic countries, even if it's illegal to be trans, gay, those laws are rarely prosecuted. However, first thing, rarely doesn't mean never. Second thing, there's a lot of vigilantes in such country who actively hunt queer people, and government really doesn't care if they're murdered. So think, this thread alone tells you that they're there. This thread alone tells you that they're there. I know your boy got money. His demon is getting too offended. It's getting incendiate. It's getting what is it called? Basically, his demon is getting offended. I'm gone. I'm leaving. You're not gonna sit here and tell me that there's gayness in the country when I want to believe there's not. Boy, all you gotta do. There's a movie, y'all, called The Kite Runner. Have y'all ever saw that movie, The Kite Runner? It's a good movie. Have you guys ever saw the movie The Kite Runner? Uh, Go, if you never watched that movie, go watch that movie tonight. Go watch that movie tonight. The Kite Runner is like, it proves it. And you didn't hear Islamic people coming out against the movie like, they're lying. This is not true. It's true. It's true. I'm going to read to you a little bit about what that movie's about if you never watched it. Islam doesn't do that. Yeah, they do. They just like to use it as a weapon against certain people to kill them. Amir, a well-to-do Pashtun boy, and Hassan, a Hazara boy, who is the son of Ali, Amir's father's servant, spend their days flying kites, kite flying in the hitherto peaceful city of Kabul. Hassan is a successful kite runner for Amir. He knows where the kite will land without watching it. Both boys are motherless. Amir's mother died on childbirth. Hassan's mother, Sanu Bar, simply abandoned him and Ali. Amir's father, a wealthy merchant, Amir affectionately refers to as Baba, loves both boys. He makes a point of buying Hassan exactly the same things as Amir, to Amir's annoyance. He even pays to have Hassan's cleft lip surgically corrected. On the other hand, Baba is often critical of Amir, blah, blah, blah. Asef, an older boy with a sadistic taste for violence, regularly mocks Amir for socializing with Hazar, whose members, according to him, belong only in Hazarjat. Asef is himself only half Pashtun, having a German mother. One day he prepares to attack Amir with brass knuckles, but Hassan defends Amir, threatening to shoot Asef's eye out with his slingshot. Asef backs off but swears to take revenge. Look at this. This is the part that's going to get you. On a triumphant day, Amir wins the local kite fighting tournament and finally earns Baba's praise. Hassan runs for the last cut kite, a great trophy, saying to Amir, "For you 1,000 times over." However, after finding the kite, Hassan encounters Asef in an alleyway. Hassan refuses to give up the kite, and Asef humiliates him by assaulting him both physically and sexually. So if you're a young boy flying a kite in Afghanistan, you know, Allah Akbar, you go look for your kite, you're going to get raped in an alley by another boy. I don't know about you guys, but growing up in America, I didn't have to worry. If I walked in a dark alley, the last thing I had to worry about having happen to me is being raped by another 12-year-old. I'm being real. Please, give me a one in the comments if when you were a young man growing up in America, you had to worry about walking into an alley in the daytime, because in the movie, this happened in the daytime. Growing up in America, if you walked down an alley in the daytime, did you have to worry about another 12 or 11-year-old boy coming and raping you? I'll let that rest with y'all for a minute. Like, whose mind at 11 years old even goes to raping another boy? I just don't, I'd never even, and you know, black church is kind of crazy. I ain't even never heard about that in black church. Shout out to my boy Lifer Energia for the $5 holler. I appreciate you, my brother. I had another one. Dang, I don't know what I did with that other super chat. Oh, shout out to Miss Berry. She shot me a $5 super chat in Cash App. Thank you so much, Miss Berry, for the $5 holler in the Cash App, my sister. Appreciate that. But I'm just being... Oh, sorry. Wow, you're a girl. All this time I thought you were a man. I'm so sorry. I don't discriminate. Thank you, my sister. Dang, I did not know that. That is crazy. All these years. Thank you, Miss Berry. But think, I mean, guys, just think of how fucked up your society has to be. And I ain't never even heard of nothing like that in black America at all. Ah, you're running a kite. Ah, caught you in an alley. Time to give it up. Is this a city or is this prison? Is this men's lockup? Your butt is about to get pirated like a Somali. But yeah, so the overall point I'm making, guys, is like, you got all these people out here, oh, Iran, they this, and America's evil, and da-da-da. When someone can't call it down the middle for what it is, that just tells me that that person is like, their demonic spirit just identifies more with the demonic spirit that exists in Iran. Now, am I saying the people of Iran are demonic? No. But what I'm saying is it's ruled by a demonic spirited government. And there are people over there who I would label as demonic. But there are people over here who I will also label demonic. And the demonic people here identify and celebrate the demonic behavior of the government over there. So they don't really hate Trump because of what he's doing, because you can't scream and say you care about 160 little girls getting killed, may they rest in peace, but then not even bat an eye at the idea of 35,000 people getting killed. 160 versus 35,000. Is that even comparable? But they're just like, I don't give a fuck about that 35,000. What about this 160? That's just the demon in them. I don't play those type of games. I don't think killing is good on any level except in self-defense. And in my opinion, both countries have a right. They have an argument for self-defense. Even though my thing with Iran is this. If America overthrew the Shah, which the CIA did that, They put you guys in power. So why do you have so much smoke for America when they're the reason you were able to come in and rule the country in the first place? I mean, people don't even know. Like, the Ayatollah, I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, the people don't even know that the Ayatollah, man, that guy was working with the CIA, man. Ayatollah Khomeini, he was working with the CIA. Let me tell you this fact that these dummies will never understand. The Shah did not want to sell Iranian oil for dirt cheap pennies on the dollar. So the American government overthrew him and they installed the Ayatollah, right? Do you realize when you use your brain that in order for the Ayatollah to take over Iran, he had to agree to sell Iranian oil to Western nations for dirt cheap? He worked with the CIA. He helped them overthrow the Shah. He gave them the VHS tapes that they used to brainwash the students to rise up against the Shah, right? And then once the Ayatollah got in, he started this death to America crap. So it's death to America after I worked with America to overthrow the Shah. And guess what? The whole time he was screaming death to America, he was still selling Britain, the UK and all them. He was still selling them oil for pennies on the dollar and selling it to America for pennies on the dollar. So I don't understand how two conspiring entities, they were conspiring with each other. Now they're beefing with each other. And you sitting up like, one is good and one is bad. One is evil. You sound stupid. You sound absolutely dumb when you say that. And then you want to come at me because you don't like the truth. Crazy. Shaka Zulu, go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, yo, what's good, son?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Yo, listen, man. I don't know if you just unaware or if you just trying to like just like take baby steps with your peoples, but they don't have it, man. They don't have the knowledge, man. They don't have the understanding, man. Cause you gotta understand this, man. I mean, I'm 50 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
I done came up with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? I done heard Dr. Amos Wilson. You know what I'm saying? What's the brother name? Khalid Muhammad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Chancellor Williams. Everybody, man. Yo, sometimes you just gotta put a fork in it and just say, yo, it's done, man. Cause yo, the Negroes is like yo, the Negro has a verbatim mind, yo. It just don't understand the concept of history. And what I mean by that, man, the Negro is to go along to get along, and it's gonna go along until it don't get along, until it's destroyed, man. So it's just it's either you gonna keep on preaching until you ain't got no lungs left, or you just gonna like yo just say, okay, listen, man, yo, how many can I rally and just work with the people that you can rally, but you gonna like Hustle Smart always said, man. I mean, 75, 85% of Black Americans done, man. Cause come on, man. I mean, if you got common sense, man, you can see, you can read between the lines, man. Even if all this other crap that we talking about, yo, America overthrew the shot. Who the fuck cares about that shit, man? Isn't it all about power? Isn't it all about domination, man? We need
100%.
we need that oil, man. And if we can get free oil, let's get that free oil, man. China's doing it. Russia's doing it. India's trying to do it. Everybody trying to do it. Pakistan trying to do it. You know what I'm saying? But the Negro is just so butthurt because of what they so called quote unquote perceive that the white man done did to them in America, that they gonna say, okay, yeah, um, colonialism is not the answer. What the fuck you mean, man? When Africa was on top, wasn't they colonizing? Didn't Egypt colonize the Middle East?
Yeah, of course.
Everybody,
Islam is
everybody.
like one of the biggest colonizers, but these niggas are too dumb to realize that.
I mean, Islam is a power base, man. We already understand what Islam is, man, because we came from the Christianity, so we understand what Christianity is, man, and we don't throw off the shackles of Christianity, man. So those of us in America that don't throw off the shackles of Christianity, we're not gonna pick up the shackles of Islam because we
Facts.
understand it's just the two opposites of the coin, man. They all fighting for world domination, man. Now,
We the
where
only
does the
ones not fighting for it.
exactly? That's what I'm trying to explain to you, man. The Negro says, okay, fuck the white man. I'm going to be enslaved by the Arab or the Palestinian or the Persian or whatever, anybody but the white man. And then because we did this already, man. We did this already with the Romans, man. The Romans kicked our ass and they was on our back, and Africans was crying for somebody to replace the Romans. And who replaced the Romans? The Arabs.
Man,
And
yeah,
like
yeah.
Dr. John Henry Clark said, they've been on our backs ever since, man. That's all I want these niggas to understand, man. You ain't got no friends, man. Look at your neighborhoods, man. Look at your neighborhoods, man. The Arabs, the Persians or the Iranians, whatever you want to call them, the Palestinians, the Indians, they colonize every marketplace in your neighborhood, from every city to every town in America, man. So why we delusional, man?
Right.
Why
It, it,
why
no, here's the thing. They treat you like shit in they liquor stores and they grocery stores, but you think if you go and let them take over America, they're gonna treat you better. That's the part that kills me. They a black person always complain about how Arab treat them. They got Arabs got slaves in Libya, but black people somehow think that if a bunch of Arabs take over America, they're gonna be in some type of like exalted position. It's the blatant stupidity and hypocrisy
but
for me, bro.
but notice, they got slaves in Libya, they got slaves in Sudan, they got slaves in Mauritania, they got slaves in Algeria, they got slaves in Morocco. But notice all these that's why I tell you, man, Negroes, Africans are the same everywhere across the globe, man. They're docile. We're docile creatures, man.
We think that
I
nothing's
I,
gonna
I hope
we believe that things that we know can happen can never happen. That's what we think. Like you could end up a slave in 2026 because you got black people being enslaved in Libya. But the Negro in America act like that. Oh, that could never happen. Nigga, it can happen. The right people get in power, you go back in
but
chains.
no, it's not like they don't know it can happen. They don't have a problem with who's enslaving them, man.
Yeah, they don't.
You know
They
what I'm
don't.
saying? They feel like they're gonna get a
But
they feel like they're gonna get a
I
better
gotta
a
go in like
better
I gotta go in like 3 minutes. So I want you to drop your final thought, and then I'm gonna give my last
now
case close.
my final thought is, man, you can't hold these Negroes' hands, man. If they want to K for Iran, if they want to K for Palestine, let them K for Palestine, man. You know
Nah,
what I'm
for
saying?
real.
We just gonna have to hold fort, the few of us that's left, and hold fort, and just hopefully the shit works out, man. But I'm behind Trump, man. You know what I'm saying? Because Trump is doing my work, man.
Trump got to do
Because
what he got to do, man. He got to do what he
no,
was
not
elected to
only
do.
that, he's doing my work, man. Because if the Africans was about their business, man, they would open a full scale war against all Arab nations and all against Arab countries, man. That's all I gotta say, man.
Oh, hey, and you ain't lying because ain't no way in hell you gonna be radicalizing Africans to create terrorist groups in my country, and I'm not coming for you. I'm gonna get rid of their ass, then I'm gonna come for you next, cause I know you giving them money. Like, bro, an African who, when he living in his village, ain't got shit, suddenly got money for AK-47s, rocket launchers, and all that. That shit coming directly from those Arab countries, bro. But look, notice, ain't no Islamic terrorist groups trying to overthrow those Arab countries though, because they over there trying to radicalize the Africans so they can get shit for free. But thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
All right, man.
Okay, this is my final point on this, guys, and I want to take it straight from the Bible so y'all know what I'm talking about. So the Muslim is going to tell you, hey, we're worshiping the same God. We're really brothers under the same. This is what they do. That's their version of being like a Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon. You can't beat them, join them, lure them in by lying to them about some invisible brotherhood or link that exists between you, both you guys. And it's just not real. And I'm going to prove it. Because if you go in the Bible right here, remember, Ishmael came from Abraham. He went in the desert with his mama. They were nomads. He had 12 sons. His sons came out. They started interacting with the nations round about that worship false gods and all this stuff, right? So they were never worshiping. After their father, they were no longer worshiping Yahweh or the Most High. After a while, they joined the nations round about to the point where they became enemies of the Israelites. The Bible tells you they became enemies of the Israelites, and they would join the other nations of false god worshipers in trying to fight the Israelites, right? Okay, but this is going to prove it right here. This is in Judges, the 8th chapter. Later, the men of Israel said to Gideon, rule over us. Oh, no, here, sorry. Okay. So, what the hell is going on? Oh, okay. Let me go down. Okay. Damn. Okay. Let's start here. At that he said, they were my brothers, the sons of my mother. As surely as Jehovah lives, if you had spared their lives, I would not have to kill you. Then he said to Jether, his firstborn, get up and kill them. But the young man did not draw a sword. He was afraid, for he was still a young man. So Zebah and Zalmunna said, get up yourself and slay us, for a man is judged by his mightiness. So Gideon got up and killed Zebah and Zalmunna, and took the crescent-shaped ornaments that were on their necks, that were on the necks of their camels. So listen to that again. Gideon is an Israelite. So Gideon got up and killed Zebah and Zalmunna, and took the crescent-shaped ornaments that were on the necks of their camels. So just that same crescent moon that the Israelites are, that the Muslims are worshiping and holding today, that the Islamists are worshiping and holding today. Way back at that 2,000 years ago, they had the same crescent moons, right? Now, mind you, this is before they started practicing Islam. Mind you, this is long before Muhammad was born. Way before Muhammad was born. 1,000 years before Muhammad, they was already rocking the crescent-shaped ornament, right? Now, how do we know this was them? Later, the men of Israel said to Gideon, rule over us, you and your son and your grandson as well, for you saved us out of the hand of Midian, right? But Gideon said to them, I will not rule over you, nor will my son rule over you. Jehovah is the one who will rule over you. Gideon continued, let me make one request of you, that each of you give me a nose ring for his spoil. For they had gold nose rings because they were what? Ishmaelites. So he killed those Ishmaelites whose camels had the crescent moon around their neck, and they wanted Gideon to rule over them after he killed their leaders Zebah and Zalmunna. Those were Ishmaelites. So you can also see there, even back then, right? They were worshiping false gods. So my question to you is this. Gideon worshiped the Most High. Gideon didn't run with no damn crescent moon shape, nothing around his camel's neck. So how the hell did the Ishmaelites worship all those false gods? Then later on, Muhammad come, and all of a sudden, we worshiping the same God as Gideon, but we still worshiping this crescent moon symbol. They were basically Midianites. Midianite worship all types of false gods. They're still carrying the symbols of the false gods, but trying to trick you. But trying to trick you into believing that they're worshiping the God of Abraham, and they're not. It's just a lie. Now, if we know the Midianites were Ishmaelites, right? All you have to do is go here. What gods did the Midianites worship? Boom, Baal of Peor, right there, boom. But you niggas is out here, United States is worshiping Baal. No, the Arabs that you're ball licking are the ones worshiping Baal of Peor. They're the ones. Look right there, it's telling you. Crescent-shaped moon, they still worshiping it. Let's go here. What Canaanite god was symbolized by crescent moon? That's who you worshiping. Let's see if we can go specific to the Midianite god. Because they love this shit. Oh, the sick. Right here. Right here. So, this is my big question. So, let's read this real quick. The Midianite West Semitic god symbolized by the crescent moon, often found as an ornament on camels. Now, remember, Gideon took the moons from around the neck. Now, follow me. Gideon took the moons from around the necks of the camel. And he said these men were Ishmaelites. Did he not? So the Midianite West Semitic god symbolized by the crescent moon, often found as an ornament on camels in that region, was likely a lunar deity such as Yariq or a variant of the moon god Sin. These crescent ornaments, known as Shaharan, were associated with protecting traveling deities and were famously captured by Gideon as noted in the Bible at Genesis 8:21. Okay, so we worship the same God. We worship the same God. Okay, what is that? We worship the same God as you. You my brother. Yeah, we worshiping the same God. Nigga, you're just saying that. You're just saying Baal was a weather god, and his symbol was that big old cow head goat thing. But how are you worshiping the same God as me, but you still rocking the symbols of your false god that you was worshiping way back in the deserts of Arabia? Listen, I'm just saying in my mind. Like, it ain't even about real life. You're saying we're worshiping the same God. The Christian is rocking the cross, which that's a whole nother thing. Ain't no cross really got nothing to do with Christianity. But that's a whole nother thing. The Christian rocking the cross, right? The Muslim rocking the idol of the false god, Sin, right? Or Yariq. But he like, we worshiping the same God. That's a lie. Show me where the God of the Bible, Yahweh, whatever you call him, said, yeah, worship me through the crescent moon emblem. All one needs to do, even when I was a youngster growing up, in the church or whatever, I knew this was bullcrap because that whole crescent moon thing was something that was attributed to false gods. And if the Ishmaelites were worshiping that way back in 2,000 years ago, and the descendants of the Ishmaelite is still carrying that symbol today, I know that when that Ishmaelite says Allah, he ain't talking about the same God that say don't make no graven images, no idols, no nothing. If they make an idol, put them to death. They had idols all day and they still got them. They even got the rock in freaking Jerusalem that they worship in. I'm being real. Allah changed, right. They got shirts that say property of Allah. But I'm just telling you, you could choose whatever religion you want, but don't let these people lie to you and make you think that we worshiping the same God. Bull, they lying to you. They're lying to you. I mean, that's if you're a Christian. No, Islam will probably survive forever. But guess what? The truth will outlast anything. I got smoke for Christianity too. But I don't see anybody like, oh, Christianity's all good, like the Muslims trying to do. The Catholics was over here raping kids. But we came down on them, and we be looking at Catholic people funny now, like, oh, y'all tripping, bro. Like, we know the truth. They do. They worship they worship the Kaaba stone, talking about some Abraham built that. Yeah, right. But anyway, all right, guys, I got to get out of here. Thank y'all so much for watching this. We might go live again tonight, because what do y'all think? Y'all think we should go live tonight? Send me some cash apps. We can go live tonight. Shit. Because I didn't cover no news or no topics. We got into some religious stuff today, but it was fun. I had a good time. Did y'all have a good time? Thank y'all so much for watching this. I appreciate everything y'all do for me in this channel. But until the next time, we ain't letting these Muslims get off easy. Peace.